So you have a niyyah, distinguishes adat from ibadat, habits from acts of worship. And likewise, niyyah distinguishes acts of worship, one from the other. Likewise, if you look at your adat, your habits, the things that you do on a customary basis, you can transform them. You can change them into ibadat, into worship. Things that you do on a customary basis, on a habitual basis, you don't give it any thought, you can capitalize upon that. Because life is short. 60, 70 years, they say, 60, 70 years, the Messenger said, on average is the age of those from his ummah. 60, 70 years. Some of us, we have crossed half of it already. Some of us crossed 2/3. Some of us, khalas, we're at the brink of it. Who knows how much is left. Those small seconds that you have, small units of time that you have in this realm, upon this earth, in this life, you can transform those units of seconds, units of milliseconds, into ibadat, those units that you take for granted. For example, your sleep, that can actually be transformed into an ibadah. 6 hours of doing nothing, 6 hours that you have for free available to you, 24 hours a day, you can convert those 6 hours into worship. 6 hours whereby you're going to earn the pleasure of Allah. How? 6 hours just going to waste like that. You can capitalize upon it. How? Ahsant, barakallahu feek. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anh, he used to say, he seeks reward. He's seeking reward from Allah, from his sleep. He's going to go to bed. He wants to go to bed. He's going to go to sleep. Had a long day, tired day. He's actually wanting to get reward for sleeping. Why? Because he has the intention that by way of this sleep, his body is going to be re-energized so that he can worship Allah. Get his strength back so that he can worship Allah. With that intention, 6 hours, 7 hours, he takes benefit. Yeah. But just in those things, because those are ibadat, those things that are just adat, your sleep, sleeping and snoring away, just that action there, not even the precursors to it, the actual action itself, that can be converted into worship. Just like, for example, you give £1,000 in charity. You're seeking reward. There's a reason why you're doing it. You want reward from it. If you tahtasib, seek reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from your sleep with the intention that you're gonna become re-energized by way of it so that you can perform qiyam al-layl or perform salah or ibadah in general, you'll be rewarded for it. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, he used to say that he seeks reward concerning that time when he stops making dhikr, when he's not making dhikr. That time when he pauses and he stops making dhikr, he has a break from making dhikr, he seeks reward. Why? Because his niyyah, he says, is to yastajim nafsahu, to re-energize himself, rejuvenate himself, get re-energized so that he can make dhikr again with energy. Because when your energy is gone, then your mind becomes drained, your concentration becomes drained, you need to be re-energized. Ibn Taymiyyah, he's saying just that period of time when he is not making dhikr, those moments, he's using them in order to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's seeking reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through those moments. Why? Because his intention behind that is just to get re-energized, so that when his energy comes back and his strength and his vigor comes back, he can capitalize upon that time in making dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Messenger said, "La yazal lisanuka ratban bi من ذكر الله عز وجل. Don't allow your tongue. He advised a man who wanted to know about deeds that can bring him closer to Allah. Your tongue shouldn't cease, should not stop being moist from the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore you find these people, they engage in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that time when they have a certain niyyah, a certain intention behind that free time to become re-energized, rejuvenated, so that they have the strength. Ibn Baz, Shaykh Abdul Aziz Ibn Baz, rahimahullah ta'ala, if he's in the class and the people there are asking him questions, students are asking him questions, what does he do? What does he do? Ibn Baz is in the classroom and he is being asked a question. The students, what do? When the students are asking him this question, Shaykh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz is saying, Astaghfirullah, 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 Astaghfirullah. He's making dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But now imagine if you do that, even the time when you're not making dhikr of Allah Jalla wa Az, you can still get reward from that time just based upon your intention. So you convert your adat, your habits and your customary practices into ibadat. For that reason, Shaykh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin, he says, وَلِهَذَا قَالَ بَعْضُ أَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ عِبَادَاتُ أَهْلِ الْغَفْلَةِ عَادَاتِ وَعَادَاتُ أَهْلِ الْيَقِظَةِ عِبَادَاتِ. He said that some of the people of knowledge have said that the acts of worship that the heedless people engage in, they're just adat, they're just habits. But the adat, the habits of the people that are alert, those people that are alert and heedful, their habits are in reality acts of worship. And then he gives an example concerning this, like the one who stands up and he makes wudu and he goes to pray. But he goes to pray because it's a habit. He goes to the masjid to pray because it's just a habit. Everybody else does it. He's been doing it for so many years. So he's not conscious of the fact as to why he's doing it. So Ahlul Ilm can say, Ahlul Ilm, the people of knowledge, say concerning this is more like adat. You're just going to the masjid, praying and what have you, reading your Quran as an ada, as a habitual practice. But the other group of people, they convert the adat into ibadat. They convert their habits into acts of worship. For example, a person who eats, but he eats and he has the intention, I'm fulfilling the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm fulfilling the command of Allah in order to sustain myself, and so that I don't have to be reliant upon people. Or another example of a person who wears beautiful clothing, nice, beautiful clothing. This person, he wears beautiful, nice clothing. Why? So he can look down upon others. Look at me, look how nice I look. He tells others, look at my clothing. And he looks down upon them. This is the intention behind it, to look down upon them. What have you got? What are you wearing? Look at me, look at what I've got. That's the first category. That's the category of people who are no doubt dispraised. But then a second category of people wear beautiful clothing. They go out and they show their beautiful clothing. Why? To make manifest the ni'm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon him. To make manifest the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon me. Right, look at this. This is the clothing that I've got. I'm showing it to you so that I can make manifest the blessings and the fadl of Allah Jalla wa Az upon me, and so on and so forth. Those people that are clever, those people that are wise and sharp are those people that convert their habits into acts of worship by doing nothing laborious and strenuous, by just converting that feeling in their heart, converting and changing their intention.